guy that tells you the way it is. Come up and have a seat at the Gaming Roundtable. Drink a cold one if you're able. Today's episode is going to be brought to you by High Gravity Lager by Steel Reserve 211. If you're on the cheap, what else are you going to drink? Anyway, I'm playing a little bit of this Evolve because there's a game that I continuously now have been playing for 2 years and I still love the game. That's my opinion. I found it to be one of the best games that was released for the system, regardless of its bullshit DLC tactics and all the other stuff that was in season passes and all that. I still find it to be a unique asymmetrical shooter. And that is my, opinion. And you know what? Today's episode is episode 69 of Season 3. I want to apologize. I was an episode off yesterday when I did the Season 3 Begins video. To Juice Man as I am, we all have our opinions about our games. In the gaming community, they are like the opinions. They are assholes. Anyway, I was thinking today about all the different times where people have reviewed a game and it just didn't get the score that you really liked out there. And you know who you are. You know the ones that send death threats. Because, once again, your death threats are meaningless because you ain't gonna do shit. And second of all, these opinions are bothersome to me because, as a community, when we do come together, we achieve great and awesome things. But you know what's funny? When we don't come together, we just are at each other's throats like knives. And I'll tell you what is really bothersome is the fact that if someone has a difference of opinion in a game that you like, buddy, girls and guys out there, and you Juice Man fans, let it slide. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things if someone doesn't happen to like the game. For example, I like Destiny, and I like Destiny 2. Am I such a huge fanboy that I can't look at its flaws? Not at all. I think 2 is a better experience than 1, with the changes they made to all things PvE, player versus environment, and PvP, player versus player. And I just want to say that that's my opinion. I found the game to be a much better experience than the first game, and I've enjoyed it thus far, because it's the one time that I always talked about the first game. I always hated being forced to do the raids in order to get the best gear. Now, I don't have to. I can still get righteous gear and even the raid set gear if the clan I'm in does the raid. And I find that to be a much more interesting experience because I never liked the raids. I thought the Vault of Glass was, number one, boring as hell. I thought the Crota thing was too easy. I think the King's Fall raid was actually probably the most interesting raid in the entire year 1. But nevertheless, my point is that these are my opinions. And just like Jim Sterling didn't give Zelda, a 10 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, he gave it a 7 out of 10, which is still a good score. That was his opinion, and he's entitled to it. But you shouldn't, if you got mad about that because you're such a Zelda fanboy, or you're just a fan of the game in general, you got to understand that, he's entitled to his opinion, and you can sit there and be mad about it. Why don't you just let it slide, man? Just let it slide, gamers. There's no reason to throw out that poison like that, There's no reason at all to sit here and get so angry and upset about it, You can sit there all day long. You can tell me straight to my face, hey, Juiceman, fuck your Dynasty Warriors. That game is stupid. It sucks. I can't believe you even like it. I'm like, well, that's your opinion, and it doesn't sway me from playing the game, because it happens to be one of my favorite period game series. And anything in the Warrior series, for example, from the Samurai Warriors to Dragon Quest Heroes 2 to the One Piece games, they're all Warrior-style games. I love action, hack and slash. And Dynasty Warriors also brings role-playing elements and crafting elements and leveling and all the other stuff that's in the other games that you actually happen to like, but you wouldn't give it the time of day. But I don't really care if you don't like it. I let it slide. I don't go to your channel or your blog or your web and sit here and bitch and piss and moan about it, do I? I don't sit there and try to troll you about it or even give you a backlash about it. It's absolutely, positively ridiculous. Everyone has entitled to their opinion. Do I think you have a right to make a rebuttal? Yeah, sure, because that's your right. But why don't you just let it slide, man? Who cares if somebody doesn't like Zelda? I'm going to throw this out here. I went through the original Zelda and Link to the Past, which I love Link to the Past. I think the second Zelda is great. I like it better than the first one, but that's my opinion. Did I ever play Ocarina of Time? No. Never owned the game. Didn't see what the hype was all about, personally. Did I ever play the one on Super NES? The Zelda on that one? Nope. I did play through Wind Waker and thought Wind Waker was really cool. And enjoyed Wind Waker, as a matter of fact, and enjoyed that on the GameCube. Have I played any Zelda games since then? No. Because I've never found Zelda to be a game series that I gravitate towards. Zelda, to me, is no different than any run-of-the-mill adventure game. I've played dozens of these type of games over the years, and they basically have the same type of structure and all this other stuff. Not to mention that Link's, just such this character that's like, we gotta deal with the Zelda that's been captured again, and Ganon and all this stuff. Like, you have the same fucking story over and over again, except for maybe Majora's Mask and a few other one-off titles here and there. But to be perfectly frank with you, I don't care for the game. I don't find Zelda to be all that interesting or engaging as an adventure title. Now, I know what you're going to say. Fuck you, Juice Man, because you didn't play Breath of the Wild and you don't know. Well, first of all, I don't own a Switch, and I don't know Wii U, right? I would rather play Token 2 than play Zelda, because Token 2 also has adventure elements and all that other stuff, but my weapons don't degrade, and I can keep upgrading them and make them better, because it's a Monster Hunter style game. And yes, I love Monster Hunter style games. It's one of the reasons that at first I was kind of opinionated about Final Fantasy 15, and then I buy the game and end up really liking the game. I really like the multiplayer because it's kind of like playing a Monster Hunter style game in the Final Fantasy universe. It plays like that. I'm actually playing the multiplayer more than I'm playing the actual game itself. I'm nowhere near the end of the actual game. So it's really interesting how that worked out. But opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, but you should just let that slide. There is no reason for y'all to get so fucking bent out of shape that you gotta go troll people and be angry about it and get so mad and so, like, you do nothing for the gaming community or industry at large. Just because you're mad at somebody and you voice your opinion is not going to change anything. It's not helping that company at all. That company made their money off that game. It's not helping them at all. You're not doing anything for them. You're just being a dick. And nobody likes a dick. The only person I know that really likes a dick are prostitutes. I mean, come on. It's so funny how many games that I really enjoy playing that people would never be playing. People think I'm insane for liking this game. They think, well, how? Why do you like Evolve so much? Because Evolve is a very unique game. There's very few games out there that play like it, look like it, feel like it, and offer what it offers to me, which is this cool, environmental kind of thing. The only thing missing from this game was that you could salvage parts from monsters, and it could have, in which I think Evolve should have been that, a first-person Monster Hunter style game. But I digress. I still really like the game because I find the characters to be unique. I love the maps. I love the design, and it's such a shame that they was bogged down in season passes, DLC, and a bunch of other stuff that just didn't kind of work out. And we have a guest. A guest. Hey, George, what brings you by? So that's what America's about, my friends. It's about opinions and assholes. It's about Texas and apple pie. Thanks for the beer. You're welcome, George. Appreciate that's a former President George Bush coming by to greet us here on the Gaming Roundtable Season 3. We're going to have a lot of guest stars, I think, this coming up. But what I'm trying to get at, gamers, and I'm going to leave you with this. Opinions. Everyone's entitled to one. But they are like assholes, and everyone has one. I think in 2018, the gaming industry and the gaming communities out there, if someone has a difference of opinion, you should just let it slide, man. Just let it slide. It does not matter if they talked bad about your game. There's a lot of games I don't like. I don't think Zelda's all that great. I don't think Resident Evil's all that great. I don't. I like different versions of it. I actually love playing from the Umbrella side. That's why I have Umbrella Corps. That's why I have, even though it's not that great of a game, I still enjoy it for what it is. I loved Operation Raccoon City. That's my favorite Resident Evil. Period. I love Operation Raccoon City. I played that game and played that game and played that game. I love it. Because any chance to get to kill fucking Leon is great. I think that's one of the best parts of the whole game. Fuck you, Leon. Shoot him right in the face. And I really love Dynasty Warriors and Monster Hunters games, and I love certain, a lot of the Japanese quirky games that come out, like Saren Kagura, and, I just picked up Dark Worlds Valkyrie, and Dark Worlds Valkyrie is awesome. It's a great JRPG with actual customization, which is shocking to see. And so, even if you don't like any of those games I just mentioned, but they're my opinion, my tastes. You might have a different taste, but it doesn't mean that you gotta take a shit all over me, or anyone else for that matter. Well, this has been episode 69, season 3 of the Gaming Roundtable. Opinions are like assholes. Please subscribe to my channel. Please tell your friends about them. I'm trying to get up to 20 subscribers. I'm still at 11, and just spread the word. JuiceMan3941. Thank you for joining the Gaming Roundtable tonight, and as always, gamers, good gaming.